Seems like we're a little blurry there, but
It says in the recording, the quality will be better.
yeah, maybe
We'll
the
fix it up a little
recording
bit.
quality will be better. I've been struggling trying to figure out how to get this to sync up properly. So if you're out there watching, maybe you can let me know what we got going on. Are we being heard? That'd be nice to know.
And welcome to Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, welcome to Thanksgiving week. And welcome to Talk on the Clock again. This one, we're going to start with, of course, the title. Okay,
Just making sure.
sounds like we're live.
Rocking and rolling.
I'm going to put this on then so we can see ourselves properly. How about this? All right.
Welcome in.
Oh my
Welcome in.
goodness.
So,
I've
applause is nonstop.
I got to tell you, folks, I'm learning step by step how to do this, and right now I just had to use the computer uh, to film us. So that's what we're doing. We're going to talk about the crash that has not come yet, the crash that everybody keeps talking about. And by the way, this is Talk on the Clock. So while I'm at it, I'm going to put 24 minutes on the clock right now. We're going to talk about a few things today. Before I start the clock, it's going to be about the crash that has yet to happen or has not happened yet.
Right.
And in Las Vegas, that is, of course. And we're going to talk about F1 selling condos. And we're also going to talk about the bizarre real estate market in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's what we're doing today. So let's get it on the clock.
Let's do it. 24 minutes.
24 minutes on the clock has started now. Chris, I got to ask you, because this was a question that was posed to me by somebody, and I thought it was a pretty good question. Uh, if so, all this talk about crash for the last however long. If we were gonna crash, what would cause that crash in your mind? I didn't prepare him for this.
No, it's impromptu that we like to do so you get candid responses.
Yeah.
I honestly never felt there would be a crash, so my brain didn't go in that direction. I felt with the low interest rate and all of the equity that people had in their homes, I didn't feel like there was going to be a crash.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm definitely interested in hearing other opinions about it. We're all curious and quasi fortune tellers in this business, helping our clients. But yeah, I felt Vegas. You like to use, I think, the phrase "the strong stay strong."
Yeah.
And there's just every month we have reports of so many people moving to Las Vegas from different states, cities, primarily Southern California.
Yeah.
And with the low interest rate that people were able to lock in during the pandemic. I like to call that the pandemic interest rate.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're not in the pandemic anymore. It is unfortunate. We're not going to get that again. That people have that locked in and they have equity. So
what would cause?
you tell me what would
cause us to have that now?
Another pandemic.
Uh, well, that didn't see. Everybody thought, in myself included, I was like, "What the heck's going to happen to real estate?" Because obviously that's my business. What's going to happen to real estate when that pandemic came along? But another pandemic, I don't know. God forbid,
God
man.
forbid. Yeah.
Why are you saying that stuff, Chris? No,
Maybe that's for a reason.
right. But I'm just, I thought it was a great question to ask. So what would cause this? So as we go forward, we know probably rates are going to be up higher, continue to be higher. Mm-hmm. Sellers got to get to the point where, ultimately this has to be a supply and demand issue. There has to be an overwhelming amount of supply.
Reasons to sell.
People getting out, people panicking, panic selling. I mean, that's how Wall Street crashes, right?
Right.
There's
but
panic
where
selling.
Are people going to go that's better or more attractive than Las Vegas?
Well, I mean, so to me, it's not about. It wouldn't be about okay, we got to move and get out of us. I mean, God, that would be really bad if just Las Vegas is having a terrible problem and everybody's selling their houses and leaving.
The mosquitoes.
So I guess, yeah,
we've never had mosquitoes before.
I guess if there was a bad enough mosquito problem, okay. So, yeah, aliens hatching and on the strip. No, but seriously, this is a good question to ask because it gets to the heart of what it would take. What would it take? It would take a lot of job loss. It would take a lot of panic selling, and people feeling like they can't afford their mortgage.
Right.
You know, which at this point I think you brought up that the 3% mortgages that many people have. You could have a section of people, and now people talk about investors and like Airbnb investors that have, if they are not renting their properties, then they could start trying to sell all at once. The thing on that is that a lot of these investment properties are held by large conglomerates, and those people,
$1 billion trust funds.
yeah, those people are protecting themselves by not getting into a fear position or a panic
Right. And
position,
they're
right?
playing the long game.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere unless they really start feeling some pain because, listen, some of their portfolio they bought, just speaking of those investment portfolios, and this is a investor period that might anybody who's been active for the last 10 plus years buying property, you bought property when it was a really good time,
Mm.
and then maybe you've bought property more closer to now when we're at a higher point in the
Right.
market.
And it's all threaded into their
you're
vast
balanced.
portfolio.
You're
Yeah,
balanced,
balanced.
right? So maybe some of your more recent purchases could start to suffer. And so that's where I get to like, okay, well, people more recently that may have bought could start feeling pain and feeling like they want to, hit the panic button and get out. So all of that seems pretty unrealistic to me, as far as having an actual crash. So that's why I think it's funny when I see these people out there talking about crash, 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 as far as them saying, look, these are the people getting all of the magnetism on it's the doomsdayers. And I probably talk too much about them because they're not really worth talking about.
Maybe they're just hoping for a crash so they can
Of
get a
course they
better
are.
deal.
And many people are. And I don't blame you for that,
Right.
especially when you feel like you're
They're
just
getting priced out.
you're just not in the market at all,
Right.
and you've got to hope for something really shitty to happen. Just to be honest,
Yeah.
that's rough. But so that's that. But I
For
wanted,
Vegas, it would really, if you're just speaking about Joe Vegas,
yeah,
most of our jobs are centered around hospitality and the strip.
hmm,
So let's take a look at what's going on the strip. Well, it seems to be getting stronger and stronger. This year has been the biggest year of conventions coming to Las Vegas. Like it is popping all the time, not just on big weekends that have always traditionally been big weekends.
hmm,
It's hitting into Thanksgiving, into December. And lo and behold, here comes F1.
yep,
The LVCVA said that the week before Thanksgiving was the 51st week in the entire year as far as driving revenue to Las Vegas. And they slide F1 into that slot. An affluent. It's almost like the rodeo, but with a lot more rich people.
yeah, and
And
from all around the world.
all that's the thing. You're getting European money in here. You're getting Latin America money in here. I was down there on the strip. I was there at Bellagio, and just looking around, it looked way different demographically to every other weekend. And it's an infusion of 300,000 people, which is even way bigger than the Super Bowl, which surprised me when I first you start digging, you
When you
start
think about
trying to
that,
think
yeah,
about it, understand it. Like in our minds, we're Americans. We're like, oh my god, the Super Bowl is the biggest thing that's going to happen in February
it's pretty big.
next year.
But
It's really
it's
big,
one day, and yeah.
and this is 4 days.
Yeah, I guess the Super Bowl has some activities around surrounding it for
Right,
days leading up,
Friday
but
and Saturday.
not the same. So yeah, that's 4 days. A
So
lot of
it went this F1 weekend with the 4 day or the whole week. It went from 51st to first, just like that.
wow,
It's amazing when
yeah,
it comes, and the hotel owners are singing the praises of F1. Now us as locals,
hmm,
yes, it's a pain in the ass. All the construction, all the streets that were had to be repaved, and things had to get moved around.
yeah,
The resort owners really don't care about us locals that much. They care about the money and the money that's, and then as far as the officials and LVCVA, they care about the money being infused. Now, the best thing I can say for the locals is that they did not ask for a tax break, so there's going to be about $25 million that are going back to K to 12 schools, which this cheap owner of the Oakland A's John Fisher, he wants that waived. Of course, he's worth what 1.4 billion, but that's too much for him. So or hats off to F1 when it comes to that. At least we're gonna get some money
Well,
for
yeah,
our schools.
and I generally look the lot of negativity surrounding F1, because I think a lot of it is like you said, it's not really an American thing as much. The Strip understands this, that Las Vegas Strip and all those hotel casinos understand that in order to continue to grow their toys that bring more people, they need to be worldwide.
Right.
Okay, there's a lot of places you can go and gamble across our country now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not no longer what it was. Atlantic City and Las Vegas. That was it. Now you got a lot of places in between. It's
2/3 of the states.
right. It's not the same, experience if you're not in Las Vegas, of course. But nonetheless, if it was just about gambling, right?
Right.
So you got that to take into account. The Strip gets its toys. That's just the way it is.
And Vegas puts on events.
Yeah.
If you
Now,
saw the race,
yeah.
it looked amazing on television.
I really didn't see
Gorgeous.
much, so I'm glad I have your perspective, and we're going to get into an article about real estate that has to do with F1. That is another testament to maybe it being a positive. I think that the jury is probably still out in the long run. This is a contract that they have for a number of years. And what you hope for is that for locals, first of all, we can see some of the positives as time goes here, but also as the next one approaches, it's smoother,
Correct.
it's
Less
easier,
problems.
and it's more Vegas. I think one of the things that was missing here to me is that it doesn't have that Vegas vibe yet.
Mm-hmm.
This is sort of transplanting something into Vegas and saying, here it is. This is cool regardless, and it's cool. We'll put it in Vegas. Now, I think you got to
Like
say,
a Super Bowl.
yeah, well,
Kind of like a Super Bowl,
but
or a draft. We're here and now we're out of here. But we as Americans, we can't get enough NFL. So for us, yeah, it's all good. A little inconvenience, no problem.
right,
To your point, this is. I'm a huge sports fan.
right.
Baseball, football, basketball, hockey, even some soccer at times. World Cup, following the United States team. But F1, I was ignorant about.
Yeah,
I had to go home and start watching a few episodes on Netflix to be like,
yeah,
and it's European dudes and some
yeah.
South American drivers.
It's
and
definitely
they're super into it.
It's definitely big money. It's something that you don't always. Something I've learned in my life is that you don't always have to understand something in order for it to be a success. To be a success, that's for sure.
Right.
There's many things in life where I'm going, really, and yet it's a huge success. So
Pickleball? Just kidding. Pickleball's great.
but yeah, so let's dive into just because we are talking on the clock, folks. I'm gonna dive into actually. Here we go. I'm gonna learn how to use my stuff first here. I'm gonna put this up so everybody can see that what we're talking about is this F1 article here. Las Vegas Realtor F1. This is from a Realtor. F1 is fueling unprecedented surge in high-rise condos. Heidi High Rise.
Heidi High Rises.
Yeah,
she's a best-selling high rise.
yeah, it's a great name, right?
Realtor.
Good job on coming up with a catchphrase for yourself.
Yeah.
She's saying that the F1 really jumped up the condo high-rise sales.
In particular, was it the Signature and MGM,
I'm sure.
which could use some remodeling, by the
Yeah.
way.
It could, yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They're getting of age. We
Yes.
start getting, 15, 20 years old, and it starts to look a little. I mean, like speaking of a high rise that's by me is the Queensbridge,
Yeah.
and that was one of the most opulent places that you could go to, and now it's. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to. All right. I'm gonna leave that. Hopefully, you got enough out of that just to see what the article is. That is from the Las Vegas Sun, but that one Queensbridge place was like slathered with money at the time. I think it was built in 2005, 2006.
Right. It was the it place.
Yeah, and now you look at it and you're like, yeah, it's kind of dated.
Yeah.
Of course, the units, many of them have been upgraded, and that's what you're talking about. So interesting that we have, of like you said, these people with money. They're like, you know what? F1's going to be in town for this long. I'm buying a place. I've got money to throw around the world. So why not have a place in Las Vegas? That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. We have the fans sometimes are as affluent as the race teams.
Yeah.
So when they come in here, it's not anything for them to drop something and say, "Hey, I'm going
Yeah.
to come to Vegas a few times a year now. I'll have a spot and make it more convenient for
So
myself."
think about this, because I've seen it a lot with like the Raiders. There are many fans that have bought condos here, maybe not high-rise condos, but some. Um, but there might be a lot of the Raiders fans might be some wealthy, but maybe they're not this ultra wealthy that we're talking about. Some of these people coming to town from
Correct.
Europe and whatnot. But they're buying a place because they know I want to come in and out of town. Plus, I can even rent that place. If I'm not at a game or whatever, it's a nice investment for me. Now, on a higher level, these people have a bunch of money, and they're a sports fan too. That's what they are. They see F1 and they just love that, just like Raiders fans do. And I think it is wild when I hear people talking trash about like the Raiders coming to town and how they weren't a Vegas born team. People got spoiled by Vegas Golden Knights because
That's a fact.
creating a
Right.
team and having success right off
Success
the bat,
immediately.
just a total rarity. And so what you have now, you got a team that people have their license plates. I mean, they got people are
Shoes.
they moved here because their team came here. That's
Yeah.
how they're focused on their team. So F1 has a similar thing going on. So that I guess that's not surprising.
Yeah, that's cool that people have passion, and when there's passion, people are going to spend money, and
Exactly.
that's how it benefits the economy.
So I think the jury is still out on how successful F1 will be. Um, so
It's successful to the resort executives
well, and
at this point.
if it really is successful to them, then great. But what sells right now is negative news. So you're going to see a lot of negative news everywhere they can grab that negative news. That's what people really want to hear, even if
The
it's not
complaints. Yeah.
true, even if it's not true or it's not entirely the story,
Yeah.
right? All right, so let's dive into. We're going to go right next to our next little subject, which is oh, this is not the article that I wanted. Let's see. Maybe it's down here. No.
There's one that I saw the other day that talked about how the home prices are flat from last year.
Yeah. Well, that we've talked about that on our. Sorry, I'm just gonna find this. Yeah. We've talked about that in the past on our channel here. Oh gosh, this is the hard way, folks. This is supposed to be all set up a little different. So hopefully, as I go along. Oh, that's not the real estate page. Come on. Oh, it is.
This
There it is.
bizarre housing market.
All right, folks. I'm going to share this page, this screen with us here. Mm, oops. I think I'm going to share that page with us. The bizarre housing market in Las Vegas. Let's see. Yeah, ad blocker. Sorry. They like to put that up there. In the review journal, bizarre housing market, Las Vegas home prices rise, listings fall. Okay, so this has really been the story of.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, this has really been the story of the year. But I do think it is bizarre, our market
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. It's especially bizarre if you're listening to all of the um, people that are naysaying, right?
Right.
Because all of this positive news wasn't supposed to happen. The market staying strong and staying stable wasn't supposed to happen.
Right.
So it's a little bizarre when you see that we're still moving a lot of brand new builds, but that goes to why what you said, which is inventory. If there's not a lot of inventory on the resale market, then we have a problem
People are
Uh,
gonna go for new builds as well.
yeah, we have a problem there, and people will go switch to the new builds. Well, guess what? New builds, there's not a lot of of inventory there either. If you're looking, especially if you're looking for certain product.
Right.
If you're looking for a property that's single story, a large property in Summerlin, let's say it's gated,
With
four
some land.
bedroom with yeah, with
Not
some
happening.
property, with a pool, you're really relegated because the new homes don't have the pool, so you got to build the pool. Although there are some uh, model homes for sale that have that, but
Right.
once those are gone, that
Then you're
means
looking at like you're on the hook for almost 100K.
maybe
The
so.
pool and the landscape,
Yep. So
and you don't get it in the location you necessarily want, because we're building further and further and further on the outskirts of town,
yeah,
where there's is land. So if you want to live in a particular area or certain spot in South Summerlin, you have to look at a
Summerlin
resale house.
South or
Yeah.
original Summerlin, some of the the Eagle Hills, Tournament Hills, or something like that. You're dealing with whatever's there,
Right.
and as in particular, the luxury market has been incredibly stable. I'm going to be continue to do. I'm going to be doing my market updates, my market watch live, where I just go over the numbers of every week. And when I do that every week, these luxury homes are so freaking stable. It's bizarre. That's
Right.
bizarre. Okay. It's like
Six come off, six come on.
that's exactly what's happening. It's had a little minor uptick. I'm talking from like right around 680 to right around 688.
That's a
Like,
good track record.
you're just barely moving up and not seeing a lot of pile up of inventory. A lot, even myself, I called for a little bit more inventory to be coming on. I've been keeping track of it. So as I said something maybe in a prognostication 30 days prior, I knew okay, I'm probably not hitting that exactly, but it's going to be close. It's going to be a little bit, a nudge lower than what I thought, which is surprising.
And the average day on the market is around
Um,
90 to 120 with the luxury.
yeah, I'd have to actually look. They are many of them. The average day on market gets moved up by the ones that aren't moving, which
Right.
are there are several of those properties. That's part of the issue too. You got a lot of overpriced stuff. They're smart enough to know that hey, this is your choice. You don't have a lot out
Right.
there, so what you have is what you
We
have.
throw this on the market and just see if somebody really wants it.
Yeah, so many that those sellers, but most of the luxury home owners are holding the line. It's like they're the
Right.
freaking Hoover Dam right now, and they're holding it well. Yeah, because they're not going anywhere,
Right.
and you can understand
And they have
because
the luxury and the flexibility of having money,
yeah,
so it's
it
not do or die for them.
luxury market has truly become even more luxury because a while back when you could get a 2.8% interest rate, or even better if you did a 15 year or something, you could buy a property, a luxury property, and it was it didn't kill you on the monthly payment.
Right.
It is truly a luxury when you're looking at eight, 7.5. We're about probably 7.5, seven and change now because the bond market's brought us down from 8. But you're looking at much tougher scenario where you're talking about big money on a much higher interest rate. So you know you better want that property badly. Now the thing is,
Or be coming in with a lot of cash.
yes. Now the thing is that, and many people are buying cash, so our percentage of cash sales has ticked up comparatively. We have more percentage wise of cash sales, but also the thing is that these people are coming from out of state,
Right.
and they have a need. They need to get to Vegas. They want the comfort that Vegas offers them. And I always talk about this, that soft landing. We represent a soft landing spot for financial reasons. And many of these people have sold a property that's pricey where they
Right.
came from. So they're not as concerned in many ways. Maybe they're putting a large down payment and they're going to float that rate for a little while and have to deal with whatever rate they get on the money that they're borrowing.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense for them. Like you said, the soft landing almost becomes a double soft landing because they're able to sell in another state and then come here with that equity.
Yep, and they're getting away, and now many of these people are solidifying themselves for their later years in life because a lot of these are the boomer
Boomers.
generation,
Yep.
um, and
Boomers are driving the luxury market.
in some cases,
Yep.
sure. I mean, it stands to figure that the older you get, the more wealthy that you can get. So you're going to have a bigger pool of people that can afford those properties, and the wealthier, um,
Absolutely.
yeah. Um,
Tears.
so another bizarre thing that I've noticed too is, well, this isn't really. It's bizarre. Yeah, it is. One week, I noted that there were 250 something, maybe it was 260 price increases in a week. Yeah, it was bananas. I was like,
Are we getting
there's,
greedy near the holidays? We need a little extra Christmas money.
yeah. And in that same week, there were 650 price decreases.
Wow.
So the sellers were like, all right, well, hey, that's our talk on the clock. We're out of here. No, I'm just kidding. We will finish this up. That is our 24 minutes. But let's wrap this up by saying that what I was talking about is that that week, for whatever reason, these people, yeah, they decided they wanted to
Let's
raise their
let's
price
raise it. We feel
when
there's
the average amount that I'm seeing is about 70 to 80 people in a week will raise their prices, and we've been seeing 600 plus lower their
right.
prices. So that's bizarre. That was a bizarre moment in my world. So anyway, if you, at any rate, I
Tell
don't.
us if you've seen any bizarre things that relate to real estate or business
Yeah.
down in the comments.
Yes.
Let us know.
And by the way, folks, this is Crypt.
Chris Chapman.
This is the Crypt Keeper Chapman. No,
Don't
this
be
is
afraid.
Chris Chapman with Home Realty Center, and what's your thing, man? Tell
Oh
tell us
yeah,
about it.
you obviously you can find me here on YouTube as well. Your Vegas Realtor. Um, the old school way of I guess would be Chris Chapman 92. Like
Chris,
when they really first assign you
what is that? Your Twitter handle?
the Twitter handle.
Oh,
TikTok, and now I'm delving into TikTok. That's pretty
all
fun
right.
too. I like doing a few little TikTok videos.
You
But
got to be
you
Chris
can
Chappie Chapman, man. Everybody can
Chappie
find you. I guess you
Chappie
can't use
Chapman.
the nickname thing because yeah. Anyway,
This is
folks,
Rob Howe, Rockstar Realtor.
I'm all about houses and you. So if you're looking for, by the way, Chris doesn't know it yet, but he's going to be helping me a lot.
Sweet.
I'm going to have a conversation with him. So if you're working with me in the next month or so, you may get to meet Chris in person.
Excellent.
And if you're not, and you don't want to work with me, and you want to work with Chris, well, then you would definitely get to meet Chris. I would think. I would
That'll
think,
work.
unless you want to do that remotely because he smells like bo.
No, I smell good.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, folks.
Are you going to tell everybody about your big trip? Or are we going to tell?
No, we can't. We can't talk about that
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
But folks, Market Watch coming tomorrow. Live Market Watch, Housing Watch, as I call it. So if you really want to know the numbers, and of course, I've got 3 properties for sale right now, listings. One just got a very good offer on it. We may be going under contract on that one. We'll see. But if you're interested in those properties, I've got them on YouTube, and I've also got a bunch of model homes for sale that you can buy furnished, completely furnished.
Walk it. Talk about turnkey.
Yeah,
Walk in. Let's go.
these are awesome, and they're ready to rock. So if you want to check those out, they are on my channel. And yes, I hope this came through okay. We're going to try to get the quality better and better each time I do this. And yeah, so folks, thanks for joining Talk on the Clock with Chris Chapman and Rob Howe. We are realtors in Las Vegas, Nevada. We know you're coming to Las Vegas, Nevada. That's why we're talking about Las Vegas,
Las
Nevada.
Vegas.
And we're here for you if you need us. Throw a rock through my window. I don't care how you get a hold of me. Get a hold of me when you're ready.
Go to my channel. I got a 4-bedroom listing actually coming online probably today or tomorrow for the big Thanksgiving weekend.
All
It's
right.
up by Lone Mountain. So excited about that.
Awesome, man. Cool. Yeah, so you can go to his property and then go to mine on Hickam, 7930 Hickam, if you're looking for a property in the Northwest. We got 2.
Two for you.
All right, folks. Have a great day. And
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yes, thank you for reminding me about that. And we'll see you on the next one, huh? I think it's